Welcome back to another edition of Tech Talk, greening up your lawn, fertilizing, seeding, all that. The topic of conversation here. Pat Baginski, owner of Tahoe Outdoor Living here in town. Thank you very much. You as well, sir. So you've been in business how many years?
1980, 1979.
Woo.
Yeah, we came here from Philadelphia. My wife and I, we got a job with Bobby and Vern Sprock up there at Sierra Ski Ranch, and then I bought a lawnmower. Because I did the same thing back in Philadelphia. I was a landscaper back
And now
there.
you've got a truck on every corner, there's grass or a yard anywhere, and you're keeping it green. You're keeping them looking good with the proper fertilizer, right? Proper, the key term there.
It's really important nowadays.
Yeah.
It's so important with the lake clarity
Yep.
and how to do it. Probably the biggest issue is putting down the fertilizer the right way.
Okay.
The proper amounts. Not overseeding into the street, into the gutters, or if you're in the Tahoe Keys, into the lagoon there, into the waterways, things like that. So a lot of times we get a lot of runoff from fertilizer. In fact, when I was at Penn State, we had done a study where we had a hillside and we put the fertilizer on the hillside and then we'd collect the water down at the bottom and measure the phosphorus runoff, nitrogen, and things like that. And what we found out with the proper amount of fertilizer, the yards, it used it up. They ate it.
Right.
They need it. They're just like us. They need water, they need food, and the root system used it up. But if you put too much down or you do it incorrectly, then it's a problem.
Right.
Then
And
it's a problem.
you mentioned phosphorus, one of the key terms
That was
here.
one of the things we had, yeah.
Talk about it. It's this middle number. you're
Middle
telling
number, I
me,
don't know if we can see this,
Yep.
but the numbers on here, this one's a 1849, but a phosphorus would be no 4 in there. It'd be a 0.
Right. Okay.
So what that means is that feeds the root system, but also we're having problems with the algae blooms in the lake and in the canals at the Keys. So the TRPA, or actually the TKPO, at Tahoe Keys Property Owners Association, has asked us not to use any phosphorus out there at all.
Okay.
And that seems to be the trend where we're heading in all the basin. In fact, we're mostly turning over to that completely ourselves, just getting rid of the phosphorus and the fertilizers that we use.
Right. And you guys do basically a week-by-week service where you'll handle this for the clients out there,
Yep.
you know, the second homeowners, the locals alike. You'll do all of this so
Yeah.
they know it's properly
Traditionally,
done.
with our soils here in Tahoe being the sandy soils, we call it decomposed granite.
Yep.
We fertilize traditionally, it's been 4 times a season.
Oh, wow.
But with new products that they're coming out with, we're finding we don't have to do it as often if we don't want to. We have polycoated polymers that will last longer. So we could fertilize once, and it's like a time-released pill like you'd see in the cold medicine you take or something like that. So it's polycoated, and it releases over time. So it lasts now longer. Now, of course, it's a more expensive product, but it's less labor-intensive, and we're looking into that to see if that's also a better use for here at the lake also.
Right, right.
And then we have all organic fertilizers that we can use too. And that's mostly a chicken manure product.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's real organic.
Yep.
And sometimes they've got most of the smell out of it.
Okay. Most of it.
But, so there's organic-based fertilizers we can use. There's the phosphorus-free fertilizers we can use now. There's the fertilizers that you can put down once a season and they last for 5-6 months.
Oh, wow.
Yep, but like I said, they're more expensive.
Yep.
And then this one here was the more traditional, the 1849,
Right.
that greens it up quick, and this is somewhat of there's some poly coating on this, so it's a time-release product also.
So with the fertilizing method or process, do you want to be checking the weather? Do you want rain right after? What's the
Well, we don't like to fertilize when it's too hot.
Okay.
I don't like fertilizing when it's above 90 degrees here at the lake, which we rarely get anyway. And we like to water this stuff in. But here we, with irrigation, we pretty much control our weather patterns here. With the irrigation. So we put it down and we make sure we irrigate it in.
Yeah, and you'll handle the irrigation as well for the clients out there. I mean, you're taking care of their sprinklers, putting in water sensors, drip systems.
All that.
You do it all, right?
Yep, all that. So the fertilizer takes care of that, and sometimes watching the springtime, you can get some problems with snow mold and things like that. We've been overseeding quite a bit this year because of the winter time, and we just come in there and thatch the lawn real good, prepare the seed bed, throw down the seed, determine which type of seed it is best for it, put a light cover over it, keep it wet, and again, put down a nice fertilizer on it and keep that grass seed growing.
Thank you very much.
You
Pat
bet. Thank
Baginski,
you.
everyone from Tahoe Outdoor Living. They will treat you right. That's a wrap here on this edition of Tech Talk.